and below freezing at night. It may not seem like any animals could survive out here, but as it turns out, the desert is full of reptiles, mammals, and yes, birds. Birds here have to be able to withstand the harsh environment with ways to stay cool or warm. They must be able to blend into the sand and rocks, find holes to burrow in, or cactuses to perch on, or even team up to find food. And I think one of them is around here somewhere.
All right, I'm going to start out with a question. Does anybody out there know what the fastest animal on the planet is? Yell it out so I can hear you. Or cheetah? Any other guesses? Peregrine falcon? Well, whoever said peregrine falcon is correct. This here is Leia. Now, those of you who yelled out cheetah, you are still kind of correct. A cheetah is the fastest land animal. They can run at speeds of about 70 miles per hour, which is a lot faster than I can run. Leia and the peregrine falcon can reach speeds up to about 200 miles per hour. So they win that race every day. Now I want y'all to please excuse Leia's disheveled appearance while we do this show. She just got done taking a bath, so that's why she is all wet and holding her feathers out like she is. Leia loves her bath time. Now as I walk around with Leia, I want you to notice some things about her. She's giving y'all a real good view of those wings, which a lot of audience don't normally get, but you can see how angular they are. They're not gradually curved like a lot of us picture bird wings in our head. Hers almost bend at like a sharp angle halfway through. These birds are so known for their speed, they've even modeled some of our fastest military aircraft after these birds. Now, along with that, you'll see her nice, long, slender tail feathers. Those also help her to be very aerodynamic and agile in the air. Now, as I walk around, I want you to try to get a good look into Leia's nostrils. They're right above her beak there. In birds, we call those nares. Now, if you look real close, you might see a little dot in her nostrils. Now, that dot is actually the top of a spiral structure that she has in her nasal cavity. Like I said, these birds can reach speeds upwards of 200 miles per hour. So you can imagine it could be a little hard to breathe. I'm sure some of us, especially the kids in here, have stuck your head out the window of a moving car, and it's a little hard to breathe with all that wind hitting you in the face. So imagine 200 miles per hour. It would be almost impossible. That was very cute. Now, does anybody have a guess why the peregrine falcon would need to be so fast? What are they out hunting for out in the wild? Yep, rabbits, that's a good guess. Any other guesses? Other birds, yep, that's right over there. So, the peregrine falcon's primary diet out in the wild is other birds. That's why they have to be so quick and agile. Now, the peregrine falcon has a pretty cool way of hunting those other birds. So, what they do is they fly up high into the sky and pick out a tasty bird for dinner. Then what they'll do is go into a dive. So she will tuck her wings in real close to her body and basically just fall out of the sky, letting gravity do the work for her. Now, right before she gets to that other bird, she will actually stick her feet out and punch the other bird out of the sky. She is then quick enough and agile enough to swoop back around and grab that other bird before it ever reaches the ground.
She's only got one eye.
Now, peregrine falcons are known to nest up on cliff faces, plateaus, anything pretty high up overlooking an open area so that they could be very effective in their hunting. And as a conservation organization, oftentimes we talk about habitat loss. As our cities and towns keep getting bigger, we have less and less space for our wildlife. But the peregrine falcon is kind of an exception to that. They have adapted to us humans. Now, does anybody know what new big city might make a great substitute for a cliff face or a plateau?
Building.
Skyscrapers, someone said it for me. So these guys have now been known to nest on skyscrapers. So much so that you can even go online and look at peregrine falcon nest cameras and find some that are on the sides of buildings in places like New York and Chicago. Now you can go on there and watch these guys raise their families right on the sides of those buildings. And I've already said they eat other birds, so what else lives in big cities that these guys might enjoy?
Pigeons.
All right, I heard someone that they say pigeons. Yep, pigeons. So, not only do they have a place to nest in major cities, they also have a readily available food source. So that's how they have adapted to overcoming having less natural spaces. Now, as I walk around, some of you probably noticed that Leia here is missing an eye, but that's not the original injury that she came in with. So Leia originally had a beak deformity, and their beaks are much like our fingernails. They continuously grow throughout their life. And in the wild, they would wear that down naturally on things like rocks, sticks, the food they eat, things like that. But Leia's beak grew in such a way that she wasn't able to naturally file it down on her own, and it even got to a point where she wasn't able to eat on her own. She couldn't close her beak and eat it normally. So we had to go in with some very specialized tools and equipment that a lot of you ladies would probably recognize from your local nail salon, and reshape up her beak to allow her to eat on her own. Now that beak still requires constant human maintenance. We still gotta go in pretty regularly and shape it up so that she can eat her food on her own. It doesn't hurt the birds. Like I said, it's very much just like getting your fingernails clipped or shaped up. Now, while she was in human care for that beak deformity, she actually developed glaucoma in that eye. And it was very painful, very uncomfortable for her. So the best thing to do, since she was already non-releasable, was just to take the eye out so that she could be more comfortable in her day-to-day life. Now, even with that beak deformity in the eye, like I said, she was very comfortably here with all of us at the American Eagle Foundation, and we all just adore Miss Leia. I had to arm wrestle Tao this morning to make sure I was the one to walk her on stage for all y'all today, because we all just love her so much. So much so that she even has a very affectionate nickname. We all call her Princess, as in Princess Leia, and she definitely lives up to the name. So let's get a round of applause for the fastest animal on the planet.